We are Blenderstyle, and we suggest you get a blanket because it's about to get cold. Today we're discussing Darkthrone's Under a Funeral Moon, released in 1993 off Peaceville Records.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
I am kind of cold.
Peace. So, guys, I've been a fan of Darkthrone for many years, and I thought I would bring my favorite release by them to you guys to maybe shit on.
They have a shitload of albums, and this is your this is your favorite Darkthrone?
This is definitely my favorite Darkthrone album.
This is their third album, right?
Yes.
This is their third album, and it is the second in the Unholy Trinity.
Which is...
So they came out with a death metal album, Journey, something that some people think is good.
Soulless or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, don't give a shit. And
You don't like it?
That's a weird name.
No.
I listened to it.
It's all right. Everything after that I think is better. But the Unholy Trinity starts with Ablazon in Northern Sky, came out in 92. Under a Funeral Moon, which we're about to discuss, in 93. And Transylvanian Hunger in 94.
Okay.
So, which is also awesome that they came out with an album,
Once per year.
Yeah.
once per year for 3 years.
This was the last album with their bassist, right?
No, guitar player.
Zephyrous?
Yes.
And then they went just the two guys forever.
It's been just the two
Fenriz
guys
and-
ever since?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nocturno or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I
Culto.
am not familiar with Darkthrone at all, so I was just trying to...
If you Google, like, the top black metal bands to get into, Darkthrone makes that list.
So I didn't Google that, but I did kind of research, and they're kind of considered one of the pioneering, is what I read.
For sure.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I got into black metal several years ago, I just went hard in the paint and listened to just nothing. And it's weird if you get into black metal, sometimes you get in these, at least I do, I get in these moods where I only can listen to black metal.
Yeah, I hear you.
So when I was reviewing this, I had to put everything else we were reviewing on hold for a minute because all I was listening to was just other black metal bands. At the same time, I was listening to Darkthrone. So I went through and listened to a bunch of Darkthrone. I went back to a bunch of Mayhem and shit like
Nice.
that. When I first got into black metal, I started checking off the bands and listened to all this. And Darkthrone's one of the ones I was like, I don't like it. I didn't think it was
I remember you telling me that, you didn't like Darkthrone.
The one that kind of hooked for me was I like Marduk and Mayhem. I think Mayhem was the one I was just like, okay, this makes
Both
sense.
great bands.
So I was never... I'm familiar with Darkthrone. Did not listen to all because they have tons of releases, but
Let's be clear also, though, that Darkthrone changes with every release. You know what I mean?
I heard that
they've
too.
gone through crust punk phases. They've gone through just heavy metal phases and
Black
doom
and roll,
phases,
yeah.
black and roll. It's pretty much whatever these guys feel like, creating, which is a really cool thing and another thing that I really love about Darkthrone.
So would you call this one Under a Funeral Moon? Would you call this one classic Norwegian black metal?
So this is pure black metal.
Pure black metal.
So this is something that they were trying to achieve here. Ablazon in Northern Sky still kind of had some death metal feel to it, but I'm not sure if you guys picked up on it, but within this album there is no chug.
Right.
No, not at all.
No guitar, palm muting,
There's
no
barely
nothing.
bass.
But there's bass though.
Barely.
People
To
go
me-
back and listen to it again.
To me, it
because
sounds-
there is some bass.
To me, it sounds like there's barely guitar chords.
You don't hear the tremolo picking.
No, that's
It's
all
just
I
all...
So this is what they were trying to do was make pure black metal with this album, and I think they completely achieved it. Of what it should sound like. I also think that this album and Darkthrone in these black metal era of them is the most evilest sounding of all the black metal.
Okay.
This sounds more evil than Mayhem. This sounds more evil than, obviously, Burzum. This sounds more evil than Marduk. This is evil sounding.
See, I didn't get evil from this.
So
at all.
most of my notes are just questions for you.
Okay.
Because I think when people are going to listen to this, if they've never heard Darkthrone or if they've never heard black metal,
They're going to turn it off.
They're going to be like, what the fuck is this? So what is it about it that makes it evil sounding? Because I've heard that from other people, and I think Mayhem sounds like more twisted and fucked up than this, but this is...
I think, how can I say this and explain this without saying something bad about Mayhem? Because I don't want to say anything bad about Mayhem. I'm just comparing the two, right?
Right.
Mayhem is what you expect to sound evil.
Okay.
Darkthrone is damn, you died and you went to hell, and you're like, damn, this is hell.
Okay.
Very cold sounding, and also the way they just approached it, it's no fucking, no bells and whistles. Everything is distorted, even the drums.
Everything's distorted.
It's insane,
So it sounds like you're in hell. That's why it's like evil. Like it's...
Well, the vocals are evil sounding. It sounds like Nosferatu is screaming in a fucking medieval castle.
It's probably where they recorded it.
There are occultism and satanic lyrics that go on here. I just think it, and then Burzum had more of I
didn't like Burzum.
I'm a big fan of Burzum. I think Burzum really had something good there, especially in the early years. But Mayhem is definitely evil and stuff, but there's an artistic thing that goes on with Mayhem, right? And Darkthrone is meh, we don't care to be...
It's more bare bones.
Yeah, so this goes, and you might listen to this and think these guys are just making racket. Try to fucking play some of these riffs. Very difficult and very hard to play. And then all of a sudden... goes into the most primitive, fucking easiest, in-your-face shit, you know what I mean? I like that it can change on a dime. It goes from blast beats to a D beat punk beat, and then all of a sudden you're hearing some doom beats, you know what I mean? I don't know. This sounds evil to me. Of course, this is just... You could think it sounds evil, you know what I mean? It's
just your opinion.
Your opinion. But this, to me, is the most evilest shit I've ever heard.
See... Just listening to you talk about it is weird to me because I didn't pick up on any of that.
Does it sound cold to you? That's what a lot of people say.
It sounds sterile to me. It's flat. It's the timing's off. It really is a jam session.
So it sounds dead.
No, not even dead. Just it almost sounds
it's evil, guys.
It sounds like to me
not,
it sounds like some high school kids got together and this was their very first time recording off of a little where you put a tape recorder in the middle of the room and hit record and then everybody plays live.
But the thing is, they purposely did this.
Oh, I know. I get that. I get that. But to me, that just screams sloppy. And I understand that's the genre and that's the style and stuff. But to me, I just have a hard time appreciating that as a conscious decision, I guess I could say. I think you nailed it. You could not understand it, and I don't understand it at all.
So this is a time where...
But listening to you talk about it, I want to go back and be like, oh, okay, there, because I didn't catch any of the blast beats. I didn't catch any of them. I didn't catch any of the change ups. It sounded like just a monotone guitar fuzz through the whole thing to me, with the drummer playing a completely different song and a singer almost like he threw his voice out and he's still trying to go.
You're both right. That's what's great about it.
But that's what makes it so weird to me, is because you described this as being super evil, and to me it doesn't sound evil at all.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I read the lyrics, I was like, the lyrics don't even sound the lyrics aren't even evil. They're kind of poetic, in a try to be evil way, like early Cradle of Filth almost.
But did it before Cradle of Filth.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. To me, it just I don't understand.
There's people puking because related this to Cradle of Filth.
So this is
exactly.
This is what is so. This is what's so great about it, is that they straight away from so they started out as a death metal band,
mm-hmm.
and then they realized that death metal was all sounding the same. People in Nike high tops We're fucking, you
In
know what I
Florida,
mean? Death, you know, and nothing to take away from Death and stuff. I love Death, but everything was starting to sound the same and more pleasant, more accessible. And they were like, fuck that. That's not what we're doing. You know, we don't want everyone to like us. Mm-hmm. We want to sound nasty. And I think they abrasive, and like this is scary in the sense of like if you saw this live, and even if you think in your head you're like, man, this sounds like shit. None of these guys know how to play, but they're still up there just like, fuck yeah, fucking balls. First of all, they never played any of this stuff live. They don't play live.
Yeah, that's what I heard. They don't play live.
But if you did,
they're like, oh, we can't play it live because we played it too. We got really drunk when we wrote it, and we don't remember it.
But I think that's, you know, it's like punk rock. You know, they heard something, and they were like, fuck that shit. You know, like there's too many Led Zeppelins out there. We don't want to be another Led Zeppelin.
It's like anti-rules.
Yeah, it's anti-everything. It's anti-human. It's anti-living. It's anti...
But is it really? Because this is the style of traditional Norwegian black metal.
They were pioneers, though.
They were the second wave.
Of the second wave. So, but what I'm getting at is they went and decided that, you know, death metal wasn't their thing because it was sounding the same. So they went and did something else that technically, while there wasn't a lot of people doing it,
they were talking about how, you know, they like, you know, in interviews they talked about how like you saw Sepultura up there and they were wearing basketball shoes with you know what I mean, gym shorts. Like, fuck, we're not wearing gym shorts.
Gym like bedazzled gym, or like gym like play basketball gym shorts,
like the cartoon Gem.
Yeah.
They had little stars on.
Yeah, like Slim Jim, I think. Yeah, Slim Jim.
Yeah, Norway, I don't think they allow shorts.
I don't think
it's too cold.
Yeah,
no, that's the thing. They wore shorts on stage because they were in Norway and nobody did.
Yeah.
But they were cut off jean shorts.
So it's the production is like total garbage sounding, but it's like on purpose. Like they're purposely, because if you listen to the Unholy Trinity,
there's nothing pop about this.
It doesn't get like better; it gets worse. You know what I mean? Like it gets more fucked up sounding.
It's
like
unholy black metal.
Like Transylvania Hunger, which is like iconic artwork, right? There's T-shirts of that. You know, everyone has seen this artwork.
Also a great album, yeah.
You know, and even the artwork on it's just like black and white, like high contrast, like.
And then, you know, there's interview. I mean, you can look all this stuff up, you know, and like Fenriz has talked about, you know, you went and got a metal album, right? And you saw it, and it was painted pictures and colors, and if you really think about this era, like
Morbid Angel stuff,
you know, that's how it was. And they were like, no, we're not fucking doing that. Fucking black and white, you know what I mean?
Cassette
and
tapes.
And it made a fucking impact.
Yeah.
Right? So Peaceville, when they were doing the death metal, they went on to want to do this black metal. Mm-hmm. And Peaceville was like, dude, you guys are fucking crazy. You know, they sent them Blaze of the Northern Lights, and they were like, dude, we're not fucking releasing this, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, well, you either release it or you don't release it. And they released it. And there's a famous interview where Fenriz says, and they're damn happy they did. Because this has sold fucking records, man. Right?
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
So when we do this show, usually I don't like go and read interviews or watch interviews about it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. This one I did, and like if you go to the Metal Archives, Metal Encyclopedia Metallum, right? The Metal Archives website. People fucking love this album. There's like several, and they do a percent score.
Yeah, I see.
So there's like 100%, 100%, 100%, 95%, 93, 40. You know what I mean? It's just like you either hate it or love it. And the people loving it are like these, they're just like what you're saying.
We're diehards.
They're just like, this is the best thing that's ever had. Like a lot of people say this is like one of the best albums of all time, period. Like just straight up. And then there's someone else is like, this is total fucking garbage. This isn't even music. You know what I mean? And I'm conflicted because
and he's probably listening to Spirit Box.
Well, and it's funny that you say this because you like Counting Crows. You like legitimately like.
I like extremes.
And this is like Sewer Water, and then that's like MTV Pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But also, I mentioned in the Counting Crows episode that Counting Crows were doing something completely different than what was going on at the time.
I feel you.
So, but
so this is a weird, and I want to be one of the cool kids. I really do. Like I was like
we all do,
and I don't want to like pretend like I think this is awesome because the best thing about this is the snare sound. Occasionally there's a random floor tom that's just like boom, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like so much of this is
that's what
it's like
threw me
war
off.
drums, dude.
It's
Think
weird.
about it.
It's just super distorted. Like I appreciate what they're doing, like on purpose. Like there's memes about like finding the worst recording equipment to record your black metal project. I don't know. I like music that sounds more, even like Mayhem sounds kind of shitty, but at least like there's like, I guess it's more death metal influenced. Like it's more accessible. There's like more interesting things happening.
Oh man.
This is like an art project. You know what I mean? Like high art that I don't get. It's
It's a highbrow black metal art.
You're kind of
exactly,
you're not a black metal guy,
I get exactly.
But you've been forced to listen to a lot of black metal now.
I try. Well, and so that's the thing. Like my big thing for a lot of like I always try to find something like good about the album, but this one was hard because I am so into like the audio quality and stuff, and this just doesn't have
like
any
one of your
of
favorite
that.
bands, Fear Factory.
Yeah, you got to have a clear. And to me, if this was remastered, it would totally ruin the album. I get where it's coming from, but at the same time, I might give this like, oh, this is Nate's right. This is the best album ever, and everybody who thought it was cool when it was shit would be like, that sucks now. It's one of those weird things.
So there's nothing to sell here. There's
purpose.
nothing there's nothing to sell here. These people are not trying to fucking get your money.
No, they're not.
They're not trying to get your stream.
Well, and you can tell just from the fact that they don't play live. They rarely ever
They've
do
gone in
interviews.
Well, I'm
saying
just
that
talking
shit.
about even like black metal in general.
Well,
this is for
I wanna touch
a
on that
wolf
too,
pack.
because there's black metal that you had us listen to in the show, and they were good.
Like Spectral
There's
Wound.
different times.
Yeah.
Well, just like any genre
Yeah,
of
yeah.
music, you're gonna have, a broad.
So that's a beef with like true black metal fans, or like if there's high production, like there's unfortunately this genre has a lot of elitist fans that are like, if it's not satanic garbage sounding, it's not true black metal, and we fucking
See, I'm not an elitist, obviously.
right, because you like American black metal and like other stuff that sonically sounds good. You know what I mean? But
This sounds good to me, though. But,
but
yeah, I get what
there's
you're
people
saying. I
that are
get what you're
just like,
saying.
this is the only shit that's good and everything else sucks.
Yeah. Good for them. You know what I mean? I'm glad that something was created and made for them. Because, good for them. But I like all types of things, I like all,
Yeah.
But, man, dude, this is like, I love that it's not for everyone. And I love that it's not the cool kid thing. You're not being cool liking this. You're actually being dunked on. You know what I mean? You know how many times people have told me that you're a fucking weirdo, or you're an idiot, or this isn't good, or I write a song myself and show somebody and then there's no interest in it. And then I second guess myself, and then I think to myself, you know what? No, fuck you. This is good. This is fucking, you know what I mean? And that in itself is a statement.
Yeah.
And and that alone is fucking awesome. The fact that these guys were like, we could make a shitload of money. We can be like, go to Florida and record and wear fucking gym shorts and sweatpants and high top white Nikes like everyone else and get played on MTV. No, fuck you. We're not doing that, man. We're doing what really, what makes us feel alive. And like, I remember the first time like really getting into black metal and being like, I finally found it.
Yeah.
I've been a music fan since I was a little kid, and I have finally found something that I connect with. And I love that. And this album, when I first heard this album, fuck it all, man. You know what I mean? I found it.
Yeah.
This is like what you were looking.
Oh yeah, the
This is
most
your holy
extreme,
grail
the
of-
most like I don't want.
See, I do the same journey, but like, this doesn't do it for like it just. It's so.
I could see where somebody.
It's
can,
so abrasive that it's just like it's hard. People that don't know shit about like especially metal are gonna say this is just fucking noise, right?
Yeah.
And they're not wrong. You know what I mean? Like it's just distorted.
Some people want a can opener. Some people want to open it with a rock. I want to open it with a rock. So some things that I'd like to mention that I like about it is that I love that there is no chug, man. How creative do you have to be to not put a little chug or rhythm in it? You know what I mean?
It's like-
the Eagles, for God's sake, have a fucking muted guitar. You know what I mean? These guys, no chugs. I love that you can actually hear the bass in this, which is something that's funny too, because people are like, true black metal, there's no bass. There's fucking bass in this.
Yeah, but you know
This
what?
is pure black.
There's like bass break. There's a bass breakdown in there
oh,
somewhere.
you can hear it also within
But it's all
some-
high string like bass. It's not bass like deep bass.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
I do love
I get
that you
it.
can hear bass, and it's kind of a big fuck
I
you
thought
to
it was
all the
guitar
people
at
that
first, honestly. I did. I was like, huh. Well, because I was listening
you thought
to
it was a chug.
Well, no, I thought it was just guitar. I was like, oh, that's weird. They got a little bit of clean guitar in there. But I was listening to it in the car, and of course, there's no subs or anything there anyway, so it just sounded even higher.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, that's kind of weird. And then when I listened to it on the headphones, I was like, oh, okay, it's supposed to be a bass.
But I just love that this can go from blast to D beat, punk beat to doom sounding, and it kind of covers it all for me, man. The lyrics are great. It's just evil.
So I'm going to go first, and I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yeah, go for it.
I give this a 0.5 out of 5.
Oh,
That is the lowest of.
I don't understand it. And listening to you talk about it, when you go to like, you speak to somebody who speaks a foreign language, and all you hear is like everything ran together because they're fluent and they speak quickly. And then somebody who slows it down, there's like, oh, there were multiple words there. I feel like this was just all ran together, one tone through the guitar. It's almost like to me, it sounded like he hit the guitar at the beginning and then just let it ring out through the whole album. But then listen to Nathan talk about it. He talks about all these different change ups and stuff. I didn't hear any of them. That's what I'm getting at. It's like listening to
you
somebody
don't speak the language.
I don't speak the language, and so I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't. It just doesn't make sense to me. I tried so
See
hard.
what I was saying earlier, though?
I
This
tried
is
so
why.
hard to find something that I liked about this, and the only thing I came up with is like, oh, it's over. And it sucks because I'm with you. I want to be one of the cool kids or one of the not cool kids or whatever.
Right.
And
the incorrect.
and-
Yeah.
but more importantly to me, I feel like to be a music fan, I have to understand all forms of music, and to not understand this,
It bugs you. Huh?
it bugs me. It really does. It gets at me to where I'm
That's
like,
exactly where I'm at with it.
I don't get it. I don't know where it's supposed to go. I mean, I understand it's not supposed to go anywhere, but I don't understand the purpose of it not going anywhere, I guess is what I'm saying.
Do you think you might like get it in like years down the road?
Yeah, this might be something like all the stuff I suggest to you guys, and you're like, screw that, and then 10 years later, you're like, that might be this for me. The lyrics are cheesy and funny. There is nothing on this. Like, this album to me didn't come across as aggressive or heavy or evil or anything. It just came off as sad. And it doesn't make sense to me because I listen to the way Nathan talks
my
about it. I'm
God.
like, I don't see how this works.
You know what's funny is you given it a 0.5, which is I think by far your lowest rating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's our lowest rating.
Is like they achieved what they wanted to by
It-
getting
it
you,
maybe-
a music
and
fan,
maybe
to
that's
hate
it.
this shit.
But it's just, I don't get it. And it pisses me off that I don't get it.
I give it a 2.5 out of 5. I like it better than you, and I kind of get parts of it, but at the same time, it sounds like total shit. You know what I mean? I'm just not true, pure black metal guy. I want to be like you're saying, I want to understand
I don't
it.
even think it's labels. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like,
It pisses me off that I don't understand.
I like other like 90s black. We did Satyricon. I think that's fucking cool. The Shadow Throne. I think that's a dope album. This is just it. I don't get it, dude. Like I tried a lot. I went hard and I listened to tons of Darkthrone. I listened to this a bunch of times. Like I would listen to it like 5 times in a day, and then like I'm like I don't even remember any of it. And, and you're saying that's like kind of on purpose.
Oh, man.
And like sometimes I would.
So there's nothing. What's weird,
I remember him saying Natassja.
Yeah.
I remember like the
that.
bass
it's kind
breakdown.
of like a love song, even.
And I thought that was cool.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like the lyrics were cheesy, but they weren't like. It's just so weird.
I tried really, and I was like, okay, there's this unholy trinity, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna listen to them, right? And I'm like, they get worse somehow. Like the production literally gets worse as they go on. I'm like, this is so fucking weird. And
we bring up little things like production that really mean nothing. And honestly, like, what is that?
And I get. Now that we've talked about it a lot, I get why people are like snooty about it and snobby, because they're just like, you don't get it, right? You normies don't fucking understand. There's like 100 of us and we love it and we understand, and the rest of you are like Casey and me.
100 of us. I mean, when have I been snooty about this stuff?
No,
you're not.
You're not.
I don't even bring this stuff up because I know it's like.
But I think what he's getting at is just like you said. You could name, you could call out all these change up and these different beats and these different sections and stuff. And to me, I don't catch. It's like listening to somebody speak a foreign language and then somebody translates it back, and you're like, how did you get any of those syllables or words out of what that person? They went so fast to something.
Explaining it completely, like I totally love that.
So when you look up like what's the best black metal and Darkthrone's in there, I'm like, that's just not gonna get anyone in, and that's the point, right? It's not for everyone. It's not. It's barely for anyone, really. It's for the dead. It's for dead bodies, ghosts. I don't know.
Oh man, everything you guys have said has made a point to why I love this. I think there's plenty of things that stand out in this. I think this is a solid record, and I think it has stand the test of time, and it will continue to stand the test of time. This is a 5.0. This is a perfect fucking record.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's a perfect fucking record.
Laughing at us.
And, you know, I guess I'm glad I'm the dummy.
Or you're the smart one who speaks the language.
I think it's just... There's something you feel, man. There's something like in the sense of like...
I wanted to give it a higher rating just so I could like feel like so I could be like, no, I get it. It's
this
not
is a 5.0. This is a great black metal record.
I did the same thing. I was like, I'm going to give it like a 2. That way I could be like, I get it. But then I was like, no, because Nathan's going to start talking about it. I'm not going to know what the fuck he's talking about. And I'm going to call myself out on my stupidity with it.
That's funny. 5.0, man. Great album.
Great pick.
Yeah.
It was fun trying. It was a learning experience.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, the fans watching the show, listen to Darkthrone Under a Funeral Moon and let us know. Do you think it's a 5 or do you think it's a 0.5? Write it in the comments.
Take us out, Nate.
That was Darkthrone Under a Funeral Moon, released in 1993. Great fucking record, boys. This is Blenderstyle.
Natassja's the one that got away.